This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team, and welcome back. It's Sunday evening.
Great to see you, Carey Ann. I want to remind everybody that to send their questions to questions@talkmusiccity.com. You know, this show is driven by those questions. So important. Please send anything that you're thinking about real estate or mortgage related. Send to questions@talkmusiccity.com or hashtag #TalkMusicCity.
Yes, and this also is a podcast, so please subscribe. You can call up any of these shows anytime and listen to them at your leisure. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music Podcast, plus many more other platforms. And you can watch our show on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Simply search The Talk of Music City.
Carey Ann, I'm so excited that we've got a supersonic guest here with us.
We do.
I mean, this is so exciting. I couldn't wait to get Lars on our show here today. This is Lars with ribbonhomes.com, right? Is it Lars at ribbonhomes.com?
Yeah. So my name is Lars Haugsted with Ribbon. You can visit our website at www.ribbonhome.com.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
And I'm so excited about this, Carey Ann, because Lars, just a couple weeks ago, we were talking with Mr. Jim McCarthy about the challenges within neighborhoods because so many homes are being purchased by big-time investors. We're not talking about the small local investor. We're talking about the big-time investors. And what happens is a bread-and-butter home hits the market, and there's a half a dozen first-time buyers out there trying to go against a cash buyer from New York. No offense from cash buyers from New York. But when they're represented by these huge conglomerates who don't care about the well-being of a neighborhood, not personally anyhow, it becomes very frustrating. And we see those ratios then start getting out of whack where there's too many investor-owned properties and not enough homeowners because the homeowner can't compete with that cash buyer. And, thank God for Ribbon Homes that you've come up with a solution. You've come up with a bridge for that. And we're so excited about talking about it tonight.
Yeah, so we solve a plethora of problems in the market. First-time home buyers, those who need to sell to buy. So I look forward to diving into all those scenarios.
Yes, we want to break it down so people can really wrap their arms around why this got me so excited. Carey Ann shared with me last week, and I said, "Holy cow, are you kidding? This is giving the first-time buyer, this is giving the homeowner who is concerned about where they're moving to next." A chance to be able to buy that home in a contingent fashion and compete with that cash buyer. So that's why I got so excited.
Yes, I mean you are excited
I
tonight.
am excited.
There, Monte is ready. It's funny. I had 3 different scenarios in the last 30 days with the name Ribbon crossed my desk, right? And I'm like, who is this Ribbon? Do I like you? Do I not like you? I need to know who Ribbon is, right? Because we talk a lot about the iBuyer, and maybe that's kicking the agent out or kicking the lender out. And so I was getting nervous, what was happening. But what I found after doing a little bit of research is that Ribbon was allowing and helping these very deserving buyers, credit-approved buyers, end up purchasing their dream home where they were in jeopardy of maybe losing that because they had a home to sell.
Right.
And they just could not get it sold in time, And so I kept seeing the slogan, freedom to buy before you sell.
Yes.
Freedom to buy before you sell. And that was so catchy to me, and I was really excited to learn more about it. And so I got connected with Ribbon, and when I learned that everything that they offered, my eyes, you can't see them because we're on the radio, but they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I was just getting really excited because with this boost through Ribbon, we can help serve so many more families and really help you get your dream home, because sometimes you find that dream home before you're even ready to sell.
It happens so often. And it happens so often, Carey. And we tell clients, look, okay, you want to sell first, and you want to look at property. Here's the deal. We're just dating. We're not going to fall in love with it. If you want to go out and look at homes, we'll go look. But here's what's going to happen probably. You're going to fall in love with one, and now you don't have yours sold. So we've got to take one step at a time. Well, now we have a bridge across that. That's why I'm so excited. We're going to take it, folks. We're going to break this down step by step so you understand exactly why I'm so excited about this.
And I don't, and you as well, don't talk and promote any companies without doing, our research and making sure,
Right.
that they're credible and ones that are really going to help serve. And Ribbon
And
is
that's what I
one
love
that's
about their heart here. Their heart is to help that homeowner, to help that future homeowner or the existing homeowner who just doesn't have the ability to own both homes at that moment,
Right.
And to compete as a cash buyer.
So, Lars, if you can help, share with us, how long has Ribbon, been in existence? Where was the thought? Is there a backstory with Ribbon?
So we started a year and a half ago. Our first transaction was in March of 2018, and we're headquartered in New York City.
Okay.
Our first territory was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and so we're kind of flirting there with the border. So we're North and South Carolina. January of 2019, we had gone over to the Triad and the Triangle in North Carolina, and then we've expanded here in the past month or so in Nashville. So we have plans to expand to several other states throughout the rest of the year. So growing very rapidly, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you've only been here a year and a half, and I've already had 3 cross my desk, right? I mean, you guys
they've only
are coming
been in Nashville for how long? A month?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If only, just a month or so, right? I mean, for me to already see the traction that you're helping these families with, and
Because
they
the need
were
is
so
really big.
delighted and so excited. I mean, last week we had Landmark Homes in the studio, and one of the transactions that we did together was helping this buyer purchase that dream home, which was a Landmark home, and they utilized Ribbon financing or Ribbon Homes to be able to do that because they were having such a difficulty time selling. Now, the great news with Middle Tennessee is it doesn't take too long to sell a home.
Right.
But if you do find that house before you even prep your home to sell, right?
It is so common.
It is. It happens a lot. So good things, and a lot of raving fans already with your product. So good stuff.
Let's kind of break it down on how it works. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here as far as how long you guys been around. So what if the average consumers, home sellers thinking about buying another home? Why do they care about Ribbon?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of these people are submitting contingent offers, and so it's how are you going to get that dream home
With a contingent offer.
with a contingency,
And with a seller like me, and I would say no.
Yeah, that's right. I'd say no too.
I mean, people are risk adverse, and same with new construction. Nobody likes getting a contingent offer,
Right.
And really, we're helping solve that problem to where we can remove the contingency. But on the flip side, the seller, they're getting that security and peace of mind, knowing that the home's going to close no matter what. If that buyer's unable to secure financing. So how does our program work? We've created the first program that works directly with agents, lenders, all of the people involved in the real estate transaction, that ecosystem, to give their clients the freedom to buy before they sell.
That's one of the things I love about you guys. You're not trying to get rid of Carey Ann or trying to get rid of me, the realtor. You're working with the professionals because the transaction needs those professionals to put it all together. What you guys are doing is providing a bridge between what's available now and what's available in the future.
Yeah, and so it's you guys see these pain points all throughout. Every
Sure.
day you see people who need to sell in order to buy, and they can't secure that home that they want. So now this is a tool that agents, lenders, new construction, so many people, buyers can use this program to help them actually get the home they want without taking that huge equity hit of selling their existing home below market value.
And that's
going
what's
over to
happening
an
over and
investor.
over again.
Yeah.
It's happening over and over again, folks. Well, that's why, when we talk about the iBuyer experience, Carey Ann knows I'm really down on that whole thing, okay? Because I've witnessed people taking a $30,000 and $40,000 hit. And just because they wanted to make sure that they had a buyer for that home before they did take the next step. Well, now they don't have to take that hit. You're going to save areas where you guys work. You're going to save those economies, millions of dollars in the big picture. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
I hope so, Lars.
It's a lot of fun.
It's got to be so much fun having a job like this that you're actually a hero helping people do something they couldn't have done without you.
Yeah.
Where from the financing side, sometimes I'm able to go and pull out equity on property A and put down on property B, and they qualify.
Right.
But it doesn't happen for everybody.
Right.
And that's where Ribbon comes into play, right?
Exactly.
Because you can then utilize Ribbon, and you don't have to worry about making sure that you qualify for this or that. We have to work and make sure the qualification is on the last loan, right? That you can
Correct.
actually close on it. So that helps and gives so much availability to so many more, deserving clients for sure. Good stuff right there.
No, absolutely, and it's. I'm sorry, I lost my track there for a second because I was thinking how many clients in the past years could have benefited from this opportunity that we're offering here tonight.
Oh yeah, I can count already. So many.
I mean, it's incredible how often this happens and how much out of control, not out of control, but they're not in control. What you're helping the consumer do is stay in control of the process by having, you're kind of like their Uncle Bob who's got the checkbook,
Yep.
who's going to write the check for the house and them not have to worry about losing that dream home. And then they have plenty of time to sell their existing home and not take a hit, not take a bath in it.
Yeah. A common way is like the rich uncle experience is like rich uncle purchases the home.
Right.
And then once you're able to secure your financing, you sell your existing home, for max value, then you repurchase from Ribbon. Another good way to explain it is the credit card. It's like, why do major retailers accept credit cards and pay that 2.5%? They're getting the security and the peace of mind, knowing that they're going to get paid. They don't have to worry about, when does Lars get paid? Is he going to be able to buy all of his groceries?
Right.
Now is it $30 this week and then $100 next week? This gives them more opportunity to get more money.
Hey, you know what it does? It gives you the freedom to buy before you sell. This is good stuff. Hey, so you've been listening to the talk of Music City Real Estate. We're going to be right back.
Super Talk 99.7 WT and the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
We're talking about a great topic tonight, Carey Ann. I've been looking forward to this for a while now.
You are. You have, actually.
I have, because this is so cool. I mean, what a great position you have, Lars. That I mean, you must. Do you have a Superman thing underneath you? Because when you got to feel like Superman sometimes when you're bringing such a solution to such a common problem.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great because there's so many people out there who have this problem and they can't secure the home that they want. And really the way that it works is in the event that they're too afraid to list their home, they haven't gotten any offers and nothing's under contract, they're submitting contingent offers, Ribbon will step in and reserve that new home with an all-cash, non-contingent offer that's guaranteed to close.
Amazing.
And then the buyer then moves into the new home, rents from Ribbon, and they have up to 180 days to sell their existing home at max value, still working with their real estate agent. And once they secure their financing, tie up their loose ends, they have the right, most importantly, to repurchase the home from Ribbon at the same price that we originally bought the home for.
I think that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think here in Middle Tennessee, we probably don't need 180 days, right? No. We sell a lot faster, which is great. But having that freedom is a huge win. Being a seller, we talked in previous episodes that I'm selling a house and had a terrible experience as a seller because I had an approved loan that was...
become more empathetic.
I don't know how you do it, for sure. I mean, I've got serious anxiety, just
He's
trying
a
to sell.
too.
So yeah, he is. I call him with my concerns, but it was interesting. So went through all that, and I was just like, oh, what are we going to? We have to do this all over again. And luckily, after a couple weeks, that Sunday we got 3 offers. I think even 4 offers, but all offers were asking price or even higher. One was with some creativity in it, but one was all cash. Then guess which one I picked?
Let me guess.
Yeah.
The cash sounds easy, doesn't it?
I mean, again, remember, what we're talking about is no appraisal contingency.
Right.
No financing contingency,
right.
And then your basic inspection contingency, right? I think I put on social media a week or so ago, what stresses you out the most with contingencies? Finance, appraisal, or inspection.
Yes.
And you should know the quality of your home that you're selling.
Right.
So you should know what's about to pop up, right. on the inspection. Right. So for me, what people tell me that they're approved, like we talked about in previous things, it's only a piece of paper, pre-qual to pre-approved, right? What does that really mean? Well, we found that out in the last one. I had an underwriting approval pre-approval and then a denial at the last minute, right?
Exactly.
So that is very stressful, right? And then the appraisal contingency. Well, again, we talked with an appraiser here, fair market value, but then it's an opinion.
Right.
And what if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed? This is me as a seller talking, so to me, I would much rather know that this is a slam dunk deal, cash. Go ahead and inspect it, right? Because I know it should pop up, and then we close. What's the time frame that usually close?
Yeah, so on average, people are closing within 17 days, but we can close in as little as 10 business days
Love
to
that.
move quickly and make your offer more attractive, especially in those multiple offer situations. Seller motivation always comes into play, so being able to move quickly can definitely up your offer to where your cash
A quick
and
cash offer.
quick close.
A quick cash offer speaks volumes.
Yeah. And, I think sometimes we think you find cash maybe in the lower price points sometimes and in the higher price points, right? Meaning you've got the investor purchasing that deal that they want to flip or, that they want to rent out. And then you've got the person that's been saving their money or multiple houses sold and now they're paying cash for, more of a luxury. So what I love about your program too is we were just talking about it off the air is that person using an FHA loan that you and I, fit is great buyer, credit qualified, has that mid 60 credit score, right? Is somebody now that can use cash financing through Ribbon Homes, right, on this deal and compete with the big dogs out there.
Everybody just got a rich uncle. Yeah. That's how. That's how I look at this. That's how I explained it to our team the other day on a group call. When I found out a bit about this, I called a quick meeting on the phone. I said, look, guys, how would you all like to have a rich uncle that would help you with your clients close on a transaction before they closed on theirs?
Right.
Would that be empowering? Would you be a superhero if you had that kind of ability? Well, that's what Ribbon's doing.
And it's like, imagine if you could just get their belongings out of their existing home, get the dogs, the cat, the kids
Make
out of the home and stage the home the way that you want to, which is that huge pain point that all these iBuyers are going after. But it's a very expensive convenience.
That easy button is costing $30,000 and $40,000 if you're typically going with somebody who's writing a check. This company, my understanding is you guys pay fair price.
Yeah. So when it comes to qualifying, we qualify the buyer and we're typically just reviewing their fully verified pre-approval. We just need to make sure that they've pulled credit, income, assets, and just verify those things. And then when it comes to the home, yes, we're a tech company, but we're not relying on tech when it comes to valuing the properties. We're using local market experts, previously appraisers, who are looking at these homes in the eyes of an appraiser. Because at the end of the day, when they go to repurchase from Ribbon, the home will have to appraise.
Correct.
We don't want to we don't want to purchase a $400,000 home for $450,000.
No.
Right.
So there's a huge opportunity there where we could be losing money. So using local market experts is also a key aspect to our business because without that, we could be totally screwing everything up.
So you're doing that on the front end. So you're double checking. So I come to you. Let's just kind of walk through the process. So I talk to lender A, CMG Financial, my mortgage team. It's a really good lender in town.
AAA, I'd say.
I know an agent too.
I love it. So talking to lender, and so we get approved, right? And I do have that house to sell, and I have kids and the house is not ready to sell, right? There's a lot. I've been a hoarder and I laugh about it because my mother is moving to Florida, and talk about a hoarder. 30 years of stuff. Let's clean it out already.
You be nice to her now.
Oh, she's so sweet. But I'm like, you still have this? That's from, 12th grade or, 4th grade. It's so funny. So taking the time to clean it out, right? So I am that perfect person to come to you or I can go directly through you through my lender. Is that right? Yeah. So having that good partnership is key. So I, as a really good lender, may already introduce Ribbon into the mix because I know your heart is set on this gorgeous, perfect home for your family that if Monte doesn't sell in time, may not be there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I connect, and so you're looking at the pre-approval, all of my documents. So now you see the contract. Am I handing you the contract that I had already written, or you and I say I want to go buy home A? How does that work?
Yeah, so I would say most of the time people are coming to us to originate their offer with Ribbon, and I would say that's the easiest way to do it. But even if like a deal's falling apart, we can still step in. So we can step in at any point in the process. I mean, really, we just need to make sure that we've reviewed the inspection and that title goes over into Ribbon's name should we have to purchase. But I would say it's easiest to start and originate your offer with Ribbon. That way you can come in the strongest. Because, I mean, the cost to use our program and guarantee the close is that 1.95% fee, and that's of the purchase price. And the way that we present this is in lieu of asking for seller paid closing costs, you'd ask the seller to pay the 1.95% fee.
Right, the buyer cost, yeah.
And sellers are receptive to paying this because they're getting a strong cash offer. It's not going to fall through to home sale financing or appraisal contingencies. Sure. And then once we pass the inspection, it's a guaranteed close. So they have that security and peace of mind knowing that come hell or high water on closing day, that home is going to be washed off their hands and seller can go move on to their next home.
Okay, so let's kind of back into that because you kind of referenced you want to make sure that that house is worth $450, not $400, right? As in like you're doing your homework or pre-homework. So I gave you the address and you're already doing the research on the back before we put the offer in or during that, because if you have no contingency, are you already doing all that double check before you even take me on as a customer? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, so we do that before putting out an offer. We'll value the home and do the kind of like the buyer underwriting part.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff. We've got a lot more to talk about here, but I think
Carey, one reason that you see me so excited about this, because you don't see me that excited about a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, I'm excited, but not that excited. You know, the reason I'm excited here is because it takes such a burden off the real estate professional to get that thing sold at that moment.
Right.
You see that because now we have Uncle. Do you have a name for the uncle? I mean,
Uncle Ribbon.
Uncle Ribbon can write that check we can control that date. Okay.
Sure.
And so often, right now, I'm trying to schedule one to close on a new construction and sell to the existing home. That's hard to do. But if they'd had Uncle Ribbon write the check for it, then we wouldn't worry about it. We still would be not that far down, you know, but we wouldn't have to have that pressure of having to be out and into the new one and all this kind of stuff. It gives them the strength of a gap there of time to not have to worry about it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about that timeline and how you can still work with your favorite agent, your favorite lender, and still with Ribbon Homes. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here, Realty One Group, Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team. Welcome back.
Loving today's program, in case you can't tell, Carey Ann. I'm loving it because I feel like, you know, between the three of us, we're solving a problem that has become a really, really sore spot in my world because I've seen so many people here lately, you know, or sign their homes over to these iBuyers who are flipping them, and they're not paying them fair price. And here's a chance for the seller to get fair price, and here's a chance for the buyer to beat out that investor who was writing a check, because now suddenly Uncle Ribbon has adopted each one of our folks out there who want him to write a check or her to write a check, and it's for the house, and it's so empowering. So empowering for the realtor, it's so empowering for the consumer.
Love it. So one thing we talked about in the past where that iBuyer goes in to that listing, right, pays cash, but they have like a long list of repairs, right, that need to be done, or they label that repair list a certain dollar, right? So in this case, there is an inspection report that you are working through. You know, what are you comfortable moving forward with? What are you looking for repairs on? Is there kind of that, you know, list of go-tos?
The major things.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we want to make sure that the home is safe. So we're really just looking for high ticket items like structural, foundation, pest, health and safety issues. So those things, like, you know, if there's severe structural damage and you would advise your client to walk, they can walk. We would walk too. There's no money.
So you're working directly with the soon-to-be or the buyer, right, for that particular house, and showing the repair or the inspection report and making them make the decision?
Yeah, so you treat it like a standard transaction. So you run the inspection. We just ask to review, and we're looking for those high-ticket items. I'd say for the most part, there's no, like, requested repairs. Like, if it's exposed wiring, we may say, oh, hey, get this touched up. Like, things that you would naturally...
But we're probably going to do that anyhow.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And as far as repairs go, you can still negotiate repairs like you typically would. Just keep Ribbon informed.
So let's break it down. We were talking off air, kind of the whole process, and I loved it. It was eye-opening to me, and it made me feel a lot more comfortable. So, I come to you, Monte, I want to buy a home. We realize that I need to maybe utilize Ribbon's options. So we are writing the contract with you, Monte, the real estate agent. Is that correct?
So as a real estate agent, and those agents that are listening, this is the important part for you guys to understand is go ahead and sign your clients up, right? You want to get them registered on the platform for a couple of reasons. One of them is that you have an app now that they can go on as well. Okay, so part of that reason is so you as an agent can go ahead and get those documents, those 3 pages, to include in your sales contract, and you can write it up as a backup offer, or you can write it up just up front as a cash non-contingent offer. Is that correct?
Yeah. So you write out the offer to purchase like you typically would with John and Jane Doe as the buyers.
Right. But you've got a co-signer now, Uncle Ribbon.
Yeah. And so, great. So you can mark the offer as cash and non-contingent, and you would just check off additional addendums and write in Ribbon backup offer addendum.
Okay.
So there's a sample offer doc of this backup offer addendum on our website that you can
Your
review.
website is very thorough. I like all the examples.
And it's really being transparent. I mean, I think that's a lot of the big problems with some of these other programs where it's a week before closing, and then it's like, here's your list of repairs, or we can't close unless we get 5 to 10K more.
Yes, exactly.
And it's going straight to the buyer. They don't have the representation of the agent, where here it's the best of like both worlds, or however many worlds, because there's the agent, there's the buyer, there's the lender. There's so many different people.
Here's what happened to me, Lars. I went through everything on your website, and I said, to my wife, I said, Connie, these folks actually are advocates for the consumer on both sides. This is a beautiful thing. And the other part I love about it is you guys want professionals like myself, like Carey Ann, because Carey Ann's a critical part of this. You're not doing this to hang on to this property. You're doing it as a gap or a bridge for the home buyer to have time to get that financing. That's why her position is so important. I feel like here, because without a solid lender on this, they might stay in that gap might be longer than what you really prefer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think making sure you're doing the financing still on the upfront,
right?
Because the goal here in Middle Tennessee is not to have a house sitting.
No,
right?
The price goes down. The longer it sits, you want to sell it quickly.
Yeah, so you want to. What's the turn time of selling a home normally? Middle Tennessee.
Our average is around 24 days.
24 days.
So, but the average out there is probably running now 35 to 40, something like that.
Sure. So let's just say 60 days, right? Just to be, on
and that's
the
our
average.
average too.
Right.
When people repurchase from Ribbon, on average, it's like 2 months.
Right. So having the financing already ready to go and know what you're looking at, knowing what that new mortgage payment's going to be when we purchase it from Ribbon, know exactly what conditions. I mean, what is great about this program is, yes, for the lender, the timeline's a little more extended, but we're going to be already done. I mean, we're going to be sitting waiting for the close date. Now, the neat thing is we talk about flip ruling, right, in previous episodes and things. So on your conventional loans, you have very minimal flip rulings. On FHA, and there are some people that have a home FHA that still need to purchase FHA, right, because of past, or because it's the right move, or the rate's better because their score, it's just the best for them. So again, when we're talking about the flip rule for FHA, we do have to wait 91 days from the date that you sell the home, right? So we might expedite the sale with Ribbon on that new house and close a little faster so we can get to that 91st day, sooner than later, right?
Yeah. But they move into the house and they just rent fair market rent, is my understanding. Is that correct?
Yeah, roughly like and it varies from like territory to territory, like roughly like 0.7 to 0.75% of the purchase price
on a daily basis.
And so like this is known up front. Like you can't make a decision on purchasing a home if you don't know what monies are going to be involved, right? So that's why we do that, the valuation up front. We give you that rental amount up front, because at the end of the day, it's 1,000 times emotional, super stressful, huge financial decision. We want to make sure that all parties involved are comfortable before making that decision. Like if I've never purchased a home and I plan to, that's like a life goal of mine. I want to do that so bad.
I know a lender.
Yeah.
A realtor.
I'm moving to Nashville.
Move to Nashville.
We're cool.
I mean, it's
we have a lot of fun here.
Yeah. And I have a lot of friends from college who live here too. So, but it's like, I don't want to get taken advantage of.
Right.
And especially making such a huge purchase. And that's where some of these programs can be a little bit deceiving because you don't know what fees are going to be taken.
You're being generous when you say a little bit. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
When I saw the list, when this one company came in and they were their iBuyer, a nationally known iBuyer, and they made the offer. The initial offer looked like it was close. It was $287 on a $295, $299. But then when they saw the carrying charge, and then they saw the 2 pages of repairs on a perfectly fine home, they wanted the doorknobs changed. They wanted every room paint. It was ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous.
Too much for me.
That's why I'm so excited about this.
Keep it simple.
So let's do a real easy flyby so everybody understands how this works. Because I want to make sure people understand that, okay, now I can buy my home of my choice that I qualify for because I've gotten a CMG financing and got pre-approved, and so I know I can buy it. But I've got a home to sell yet, and let's say we've got a couple of kids, and we're not looking forward to that whole process, and I don't want to take a beating with the iBuyer. I want to get maximum that I can because that's equity we want to put in a pool in the backyard or whatever the situation is, and so I can put that non-contingent, as long as I've been approved by CMG Carey Ann. I can put that non-contingent cash offer on that house and probably beat out everybody else. And then I have up to 6 months that I can live there and just pay the rent there. And I can then focus on selling my other home and get it staged and get it right so I can maximize the dollars and not have to be pushed into selling it quickly because I was trying to make both sale, move out and both closings happen the same day.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other costs that people don't take into consideration until it's too late.
Moving multiple times.
Storage, temporary housing, all these other things. So like relocation buyers, this is a perfect option. I had one a month ago that was relocating from Staten Island, New York, moving down to South Charlotte. And he had like 3 girls and he had 2 dogs. So the walls and the carpets were disgusting. And he's like, I can't sell this house without making a few changes to where he's like, I'm going to get my kids down there in the summer so they can be ready for school. And then I can work with the contractors that I want to work with to make those few adjustments. It's not that laundry list because he can work with his agent to sell his existing home. And then he's going to get more money out of his existing home. And then he doesn't have to worry about moving more than once because once he unlocks that equity, he just repurchases from Ribbon at the same price that we bought the home for. He gets credited back like his earnest money, which acts as like a security deposit. And then he moves forward with his lender.
I love that. I love the fact that somebody coming into Nashville can use this service as well because you're dealing on the purchase end of things. And then you're going to trust them to get an agent and sell that quickly. Obviously, they don't want to carry two homes longer than they have to. But I hadn't thought of it initially about working from somebody moving into the area because a lot of times people are coming here just to kind of check things out and then they go back. Well, I got to go back and sell my home. No, you don't really right now. As long as you can qualify for both, let's go ahead and get you moving forward to that dream home. Let's don't lose it.
Why live in a hotel for 2 weeks?
Exactly. with the kids and the dogs and everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
So we're talking 6 months, but I think ideal is 120 days, and you know why?
Why?
Because a credit report is only good for 120 days.
Good
so
point.
if you and I approve, because what you and I have found, and I see it all the time, it's the end of the month, and just this past, end of month, what day is it? I don't know. But I got a lot of calls the end of last week on loans that were denied at the last minute, right? And due to credit or due to different things, or things popped up. And you don't want to be stuck, paying rent. You actually want to take advantage of that low interest rate that still exists, right? And take advantage of the mortgage that you want, right? So we don't want the risk of the lender or myself having to re-pull a credit report, right?
No, and I'm not suggesting 6 months. I'm just saying they have up to that.
Yeah. So I think we talked back about that FHA 91 days, and that's perfect, right? You might have already sold a home, but we still, because of the flip rule, have to wait the 91 days, right? So we just have to make sure that you understand that there's not a way to close, but we can be prepped, ready to go. You can, lock in your interest rate if you're comfortable. There's a lot of good things, but keeping it on that shorter time frame, because I think it's going to help you from the finance standpoint. Make sure you have the best deal.
If they're not FHA and conventional, they can close immediately, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we've had people close in as little as a week.
Right.
Oh, yeah, because the
and rent is
conventional is
prorated too. So rent, they only pay
rent
for
is a
the
daily
amount
thing.
of days that they're in the home.
Good stuff. Hey, let's talk more about not only if they have a house to sell, maybe that first-time home buyer, or maybe somebody with that credit challenge.
Empower the first-time home buyer.
Love that. Empower the first-time home buyer. Good stuff. Hey, so you've been listening to the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
What a great program today.
It is. This was a great show. I've learned a lot. I'm excited.
I am
We're
too.
going to be able to
because
help so many more families now.
I feel like the local real estate community has been empowered now to be superheroes, because now we can help that first-time buyer fight against the cash buyer. We can help the people avoid those iBuyers that are taking a beating, and we can get them full price at a little more casual type, less pressured situation. I love it. It's so good to have you here, Lars.
Yes, thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. So we were talking just on the last segment about how we're going to empower the first-time home buyer. So you were telling me offline all about, some ideas, and it was so great about how we can help more of the first-time home buyer. So share it with us.
So, a lot of people who are in that first-time home buying price range, it's dominated by cash. So it's like, how am I supposed to compete with all the other cash buyers out there? And I can't. And then there's conventional. Somebody's going to choose conventional over FHA.
Right.
So now this gives a first-time home buyer that fair fighting chance to submit a competitive offer, level the playing field against all of these investors and other cash buyers, to where now their offer is just as good as cash, and then they close on the home. And overall, big picture, this gives them the opportunity to build that financial profile, and ultimately this is going to allow more people to become homeowners and build a stronger middle class.
Right. And so what you were talking about before is sometimes you may not even buy that home. Again, the document part of the contract is the backup offer. For some reason, if financing doesn't work out, we're here to help for that 1.95% cost, right?
Yeah.
And so we could potentially, with a first-time home buyer, still have a cash offer, but have the financing already prepped, ready to go.
Right.
And you still close on your true mortgage versus Ribbon purchasing it, which that's a huge win for a lot of folks as well. So you don't have to stress about, you don't even have a home to sell, right? So that's not even the concern. But now you're really just going up against, like you were saying, all of those cash offers or all of those really competitive folks that are not needing 100% financing, and that's hard to compete for sure. And, with first-time home buyers, that 100% is maybe the only way you can purchase, right? Or maybe that's just the best option for you, at this time. So love that. And, you were sharing with me, let's say you do purchase it. And I have actually 2 clients right now that I can think of that just wanted to buy a home. However, one needed to be on their job for a full 12 months because of the new USDA ruling. And that allowed for 100% financing. But, that is 3 months from now. And she wanted this beautiful, had a contract on it, right? And wanted this beautiful house, but then there was just not an opportunity for her to be able to purchase that because of that new guideline change. This would be a perfect option for her, right? Where you could come in, you could purchase that home for them, and then I could prep that financing because everything else in the file is clean, perfect. Everything is fine. We're lacking that full 12 months on that job. And so what a huge win for that buyer.
And I had that exact situation like 3 weeks ago, to where I did a lunch and learn, and there was like a loan officer there, and she's like, I made a huge mistake. And this first-time home buyer, he was set to close the following week, and he needed a few more months because of his new job, and he wasn't going to be able to close for 5 months. And his closing date was next week. And so we were able to act
We don't have
quickly.
those mistakes on this side over here,
don't.
just so you
in
know.
case you're wondering.
So mistakes like that don't happen over here. But keep going with your story. Keep going with your story.
In this scenario, we were able to help him so he didn't have to lose that home. He's a first-time home buyer. He's going to be renting anyways. So now he's just renting that future home, to where now he still has it. And then once he's able to move forward on his loan, he's able to repurchase.
Love that. Yeah. There's some folks too that have a certain credit score. We're working with one this past week that just needs that extra 30 days. I just need 30 more days because I can get your credit score up to get you a better deal altogether, right? If I only had the time. And that's where you come into play, and you allow me that time because they can still purchase that that dream home of theirs.
They don't have to settle for a subpar rate because they're only a month or or two away from getting better interest.
Right. So that is huge. So working with a good lender. Now, again, it's all about making sure I can provide and perform and give the loan, right? Because you want to work with a good lender that actually can get you the financing on the backside, so you're not stuck renting the house that you want to actually own.
Yeah.
But making sure that you and I do all the due diligence up front is key, and I think this is a huge win. The other thing that you referenced is, what about that client that was FHA, but a few months later, now we have the credit score up. They qualify now for that option where you can buy out the monthly mortgage insurance, and their payment drops $150 a month. Huge.
That's huge.
Huge opportunities for sure. So great things about even that first-time home buyer, that we can assist.
I see so many opportunities for the local real estate professional to really maximize this offer, because again, I can't tell you how many times I've been beat up by cash offers or that easy button company that will remain nameless. It's
keep it nameless. Keep it clean.
This is so empowering.
Yeah. And what's really cool too is, like, yes, we're mainly helping on that buy side of the transaction, but as we've been building relationships with agents and they've realized that, yes, the freedom to buy before you sell, but we can help first-time home buyers and all these other scenarios, they've been able to increase their volume as well in closing these, to where, I'm working with agents in the Charlotte area, and they've now been able to, she's done three ribbon deals. She's working on her fourth. She's even accepted a ribbon offer too. So I think that's powerful too, that they're working on both sides.
I was talking to an agent yesterday here in Nashville who's done 2 already with ribbon, and she said, I couldn't believe how easy they made it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite an endorsement, I think.
I've had listing agents who have, their home to sell under contract, and then it's starting to fall through, or there's a contingency, and then they call me. They're like, hey, Lars, I know we've worked on another deal. Can you help out this buyer to make sure that my buyer can move into their next home?
Right.
So, it's a super flexible program. We can help in so many different ways, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Good stuff. Hey, so if you are somebody out there driving and you might be a first-time home buyer and you're really excited and want to know more about this amazing program and kind of begin the process on how you can get pre-approved and also offer a cash offer up front, give my mortgage team here a call. It's 456-4456, 456-4456. We'll connect you. We'll get you pre-approved. We'll get you set up, and we'll connect you with Ribbon, and it'll be a really smooth process. And same as Monty, you want to share how they can connect with you?
Yeah, if you want to make sure that home gets sold on time, just reach out to us. Our simplest one is simply TennesseeDreamHomes.com. It's probably the easiest way to find us on our website, TennesseeDreamHomes.com. But we'll ensure that we've sold that home in well within the range here that Lars is sharing with us today. Lars, I can't thank you enough for coming all the way here from South Carolina. Is that where it is?
North Carolina. I'm right on the border.
Okay,
I'm right on the border, so it depends on how I go into work.
Okay, I'm so grateful that you came here today, because I have Carey Ann knows, and my wife knows, and our company knows that I've been really, really excited about hearing more about how this system works, because it's such a changing, disrupting world out there in the real estate arena, and so many of them are. With all those out there, though, there's nobody doing what you did. Carey Ann, how come we didn't come up with this idea?
I know. I'm like,
maybe because we don't have $1 billion in our pocket. Maybe
I need a little extra money.
But
bucket of cash.
It's one of those things, though, that I feel like we're coming between two entities out there that have gotten really common and well known. We'll rename nameless, but now we're bridging a gap for the consumer's sake. And that's what I think I love about you guys, is you're truly the consumer's advocate where they're buying and selling. And thank you for that, Lars.
Yeah, I mean, our end goal is the same as yours. We want these people to become
happy
homeowners, and making home ownership more achievable, easier, less stressful. And so it's my end goal is the same as your end goal. And so it's really we focus together, as a team, Ribbon working with Monte and Carey Ann to solve this problem to where now John and Jane Doe can actually get the home that they want.
Good stuff right there. Last question I have. If you are someone that has to sell and I'm renting from you, right? But financing, because I still have a mortgage payment over there and now I'm renting, when ideally I didn't want to do that right initially. Is there anything that we can work out, or do I have, when I purchase, I get to skip 30 days? Is there any gap? Is there any freedom there?
Yeah, so we do have a deferred rent program.
You do?
Obviously these are people who are equity rich but cash poor.
Right.
So they don't have that liquidity.
Correct.
To be
all
doing
its stuff in that house. Yeah.
So we can defer the first 2 months of rent, and then starting month 3, they start paying rent, and then when they
Great.
go to repurchase, they would then pay for those first 2 months rent.
But their good realtor has sold that home within that 2 months.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, if they're working with Monte.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, why I wanted to bring that up is that's huge because some people go, I still have 2 house payments that I wasn't thinking
Exactly.
about, right?
No,
and so that fixes that problem. And I think that's a huge win. I think you guys have taken the time to do your research and really help and create solutions for so many people. And it's just been a pleasure getting to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It's been a great Sunday evening here. Always enjoy having all of our listeners. We'll see you next week. You've been listening to the Talk of Music City Real Estate.